Well, it sort of eases, and I still want that some sort of like a musical intro.
I suppose I was watching it. Was like,
What is that movie?
I don't.
We're a little rushed, so if y'all would just get on board. What is that?
See,
No
I
idea.
feel like it's a boat movie though.
It sounds like a boat movie.
I think it is a boat movie.
It is a boat movie.
Yeah.
Titanic.
Well, that narrows it. It's not Titanic. Well, is it Titanic?
All right.
Indiana Jones and
It's not Indiana Jones,
oh,
but it's not dissimilar from Indiana Jones.
Get them.
Wait, was that a camera flick or was that a?
That's me trying to figure out the cameras because they got plugged in different ways.
Well, I've already had some flickers today, and I don't want to have to deal with it again.
oh wait, what ways are they supposed to be plugged in?
Well, usually it's 1 is you, 2 is me, 3 is Lane, and then 4 would be.
Oh, we can fix it for the next video.
So
Yeah, we'll
we,
do that
we
next.
swapped 2 and 3. That's why.
Yeah,
All right.
which is fine. I'll figure it out at some point, or I'll just keep giving you flickers, giving you panic
I have
attacks.
serious doubts. All right. We're the Daily Torch, and this is Barrel Wars. Today's Old Elk. That's a Raleys corporate pick, not Jeff's pick, because I think I'm setting him up for failure if it was. And this is one of the Bourbon Junkies picks from last year.
Well, does Jeff follow us?
This is the Pretty Old Elk.
Pretty Old Elk.
I don't know if he does or not.
Well, if he doesn't follow us, then we can just set him up for failure.
That's fine.
Yeah.
He can be our tomato can. That's what they call him in boxing.
Yeah.
Whenever you need you need someone to win some fights. Tomato cans.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, bum. Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
All right. Number one's Bourbon Junkies. Number two's it's a Raley's corporate pick, which means they might not even have picked it. They might have just said send us a barrel.
So there's no feeling in one, and there's feeling in the other.
No, and they're you were smoking a cigar when you came in, so it's going to be disadvantage for you. You've been smoking tonight. Disadvantage for you, both of them together, because it's weeded. And then for sure me.
I like the nose on 1 compared to 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like 2
Ooh, one
doesn't
does
really pop at all,
One is definitely like a little carnival going on there.
right?
It's like, hey, look at me. What is that smell?
Just shouting, "I am here."
What is that?
Two's got a lot of the wheat that didn't sweeten up. It's like that raw wheat.
Is that what that smell is?
To me, it is.
Raw wheat?
Yeah, it's
Like unprocessed.
it hasn't been treated.
Oh.
Like it didn't age out properly. They're both 7 years old, so it's a really fair fight. They're both
Okay.
7 years old. They're both probably picked at almost identical times.
How do they usually treat it? I don't know how.
Well, it's just age. Like you process it out, and then you got that sweeter grain, but then you age it out a little bit, and it's like tobacco, right? It loses some of the ammonia notes and starts to sweeten up some.
So when they're
okay.
throwing that grain in there, they're cutting off the top, breaking them apart, and then dropping them in, or
I don't know what the process is to create a wort. I'm sure on some level that's what they're doing.
I'm sure there's a machine that does that now.
seeing that's what I was thinking. Kind of like the top part is usually what you use for bread, anyways. So
How are you guys doing? Are you guys scoring the nose before you go on to the other things?
usually,
I thought that's how we were supposed to do it, but I wasn't sure.
I haven't tasted it yet, but the nose on 1 I like more.
Yeah, two's got a little bit of like a cleaner smell, like a disinfectant smell.
It does, but it also has like a little. It's like vanilla on the back end.
On 1 or 2.
On 2. Or am I crazy?
I don't know. Well, they're not mutually exclusive.
Well, that hurts. I have feelings.
No, I don't. Actually, I think you're right there. But on the back, though. But it's still got that note that it's got a little bit of a sour note up front.
Yeah, it's like sour, and then it's like, hey, vanilla.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bread.
They're close, though. All right. It's time to taste these things, I think. Kevin's already there.
Oh, Kevin's
He's
already
finished his already. He's added them up. It's
Already
done.
drinking.
Yeah.
He's already done.
I haven't even touched it drinking wise. my pour on Raleys isn't much. I gotta milk it, like
But
a little
you
taste here
have
and
the
there.
bottle in front of you.
So,
Yeah, this is true. It's
Yeah,
literally
it's
right there.
literally-
but if
you
I
could
don't like it, I don't
pour-
want to put more in there.
But how would you know if you don't like it if you don't try it?
Exactly, which is I'm working on the nose first. Is
Oh.
usually what I do.
It's not cocaine. You ain't got to snort that much.
I
Sift it
mean,
around.
I feel like you're wrong.
That's a different conversation. That's a different review.
Plus, you're not the one that would know that specifically. We have a guy for that we talked
I've
to.
seen the
What are
movie.
the proofs on these? What is yours?
Mine is
What, 100?
This is 116.4.
Oh,
113.3.
Okay. And why does that one drink hotter than this one?
Probably because that one's been.
look at the color in that bad boy. Ooh,
I feel like it's just mixed better.
that's like honey.
Oh no.
Right there. Isn't it? Liquid gold.
Okay, now I can try it. Oh, there's a face. Oh, there it is.
Oh,
Is that 1 or 2?
that's one.
I'm going for 2
Not a fan.
first.
That's
Let your palate warm up a little bit and try it
yeah.
again.
My palate's a little rusty, but I did also smoke that cigar. So
I think I'm gonna mirror the scores on the nose and the palate.
Yeah.
let me see here.
There is more vanilla in 2. I
Yes,
wish
okay.
everything else matched that. Because 2 could be really good.
Yeah, and I feel like it's just not.
If everything else rose to that note of that sort of darker vanilla,
Yeah.
it'd be good. But it's hollow behind it. Is my problem.
Yeah, and I get the same thing. Like I said, off the smell, it was the same to me though. Like the smell was kind of fell flat compared to number 1. I haven't tried it taste wise for number 1 yet. That's this one.
Yeah, see, it is.
Number 2's almost got like a. You guys ever had like the knockoff candies?
Yeah.
It feels like a knockoff caramel.
Oh,
Oh yeah, like the 99-cent store caramels.
Yeah.
I can
what,
taste
what
that.
were those plastic like chewy ones? Like,
Well, not even those. There were good ones.
yeah,
And then there were the knockoff ones.
yeah,
Yeah, because you can get a couple different good varieties, but the normal one people get they're cut in squares, right?
yeah. The
Clear
little
plastic.
clear plastic squares. You
Yeah.
get them at the dollar store.
Yeah.
That's the knockoff caramel for sure. Then you have like the really fancy Werther's original.
I actually
And
got
one's
some of
just a little. Once your palate acclimatizes to it,
Yeah.
acclimates to it, whatever. One's more complex, I think.
More complex, you say?
Yeah, than 2.
with that, how all the flavors connect with
And
each
it's got a
other.
little bit. It's got a little bit more oak backbone to it somehow. Even though they're both the same age.
You're right though. You know, 2 really is like on the nose. You're like, oh, and then you try it, and it's just disappointing.
It's a little hollow.
Yeah, you're just like, oh,
Do you think it's like the month that they started it, or do they come from different warehouses?
No, it's just all barrels are different. It could come from different warehouses, and I think Old Elk is all sourced anyway.
Okay.
I like the finish on 1. It's going to score better in the finish than it is everywhere else. So we're going to call it that. Finish on 2. All right.
So it's nose, palate,
Finish, impression.
yeah, there we go. Impression.
impressions.
I like 1.
You don't get the wheat on 2 in the finish. It's just corn.
It really is.
It's just corn.
It's a lot. It's like a simpler mix
Yeah.
in 2 than it is the 1, which I'm actually not opposed to.
All right. I got some numbers.
I am almost there.
Oh wow, those both score the same. Oh, interesting.
How interesting.
I
All right.
interesting enough to make me go.
You guys want me to go over my numbers where you're at now?
Yeah. What do you got?
All right,
yours?
so 1 outscored 2. The Bourbon Junkies outscored Raleys substantially. I went 22, 23, 16. The finish was the best part of number 1. And then 16 for impression for a 77. Raleys 20, 20, 12, 14 really just didn't stand out anywhere. The nose was the best part, but even the nose was a little hollow.
yeah.
And then the finish was just, to me, it was just all that corn sweetness for a 66.
Oh, that's not.
We're actually not far off.
Yeah, that's not
Yeah.
terrible.
What are you at, Casey?
I am. So for 1, I did 20 on the nose, 20 on the palate, 12 on the finish, and 13 was my impression. I like 2 a little better.
Okay.
I think because I think 2 finishes a little better.
Yeah.
I like that simple sweetness. I don't like when it just festers around and
Okay.
reminds
No,
you
that's
that
fair.
it's living with you. So I think that's where it got me. So I did 65 and 74.
For which one?
74 is 2.
74 is 2? Ooh, that scored high for you.
Yeah, and then 65 was my number 1.
All right, and for me. So Bourbon Junkies, 23, 23, 17, 17 for a total of 80.
Look at you.
For Raleys, 20, 20, 15, 15 for a total of 70. So
Okay, we were the same on finish and impression for
Yeah.
number 2.
So 222 to 210
Wow.
divided by 3. So it's like 70 and 74.
Oh, okay. That's close. You always like when they're close like that. At least you know it was a good throwdown. No, there's something about that. I like that too. I like that finish.
yeah,
And I like that vanilla
72,
note.
70, 74.
yep.
So it's Bourbon Junkies, but it's closer than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
And it's a split decision, it turns out.
It turns out it is.
It's not a clear winner. Plus, they get 10 for the win. I got to start building this into a spreadsheet.
Yeah, that takes
Oh,
time.
that's right.
You'll get there.
The spreadsheet.
You know,
of
eventually we're going to put
champions.
someone up against the shelf version, and they're going to lose, and they're going to lose 20 points, and that's going to hurt them.
Oof.
Ooh. Yeah.
Because if you do a barrel pick and you charge a premium, and it's not as good as what's on the shelf, you deserve to get smoked a little bit.
That is true. That's the for shame moment.
So the bottles that go on the shelf, out of curiosity, so they do their picks and everything, and then the bottles on the shelves, is it a mixture of barrels or?
Yeah, usually, well, unless it says single barrel. So there's some single barrel shelf products that aren't, picked by somebody. They're picked by someone at the distillery who's like, this is going to be a single barrel. But most of the stuff on the shelf is batched.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Or it's blended with, like, barrels blended together into some quantity of a batch, and they'll, name the batch number. It'll be, batch number 710 or something.
Because they all have their own taster guy who does that, right?
You should.
Most of them probably have committees.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they all have someone who's labeled, master distiller, master blender, whatever.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about the really big companies, I'm sure they have designated flavor profiles for each product. They're trying to create, we want to focus on these flavors in whiskey. We want to avoid these flavors in whiskey. Like everyone's doing some version of that, especially when they're selling big, like seriously high volume products.
How do you get that job?
I don't know. You can do
know a
it.
guy that
Yeah,
knows the
apparently,
guy
yeah.
that knows the family.
How
Well, a lot
cool
of bourbon
would that
is
be?
families. Not as much anymore, but it used to be. Like the legacy stuff, a lot of those people are
Oh.
third, fourth, fifth generation whiskey people.
Oh, okay. So it's like cigars too.
Yeah, it's just like
Yeah.
cigars.
Like if you're in the family, you're in the family business.
Yeah, you're gonna learn it. You're gonna develop your palate the way the family does.
It would just be so cool to be the guy who's like, I just blend barrels all day and get drunk. Like,
Listen, I make whiskey.
that's all I do.
All right, you guys have anything you want to say before I close this out?
Nope. If you find these, go ahead and pick them up and give them a try. Let us know
Yeah.
what you think.
Old Elk, right?
That one's still available at Raleys. Theirs is long gone.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
They sell out their barrel picks in a couple of days.
I can
Yeah.
believe it.
If they last that. Like that's the outside. That's a couple of days. A lot of their stuff sells out, the first 3 hours it's available.
Once it's
I
live.
will say
Yeah.
this one's cork.
I know. I don't know what's going on there.
Oh, for shame.
Have you seen it? Yeah.
That's a corporate bottle right there.
Yeah,
you
it
can
is.
tell.
How's the cork on that one? Pretty good.
Oh, this one's fine. I've had a lot of Old Elk bottles. Most of them are fine, but every once in a while you're going to get one that just sort of misses.
Misses the inspection.
Well, it's a machine probably makes them. So
Yeah.
Fair.
Tequila's worse than bourbon for that. I get a lot of
Oh, dude.
tequilas where
Yeah.
once you unseal it, it can leak on you. Like the cork can just fall out,
Oh yeah.
you can't trust any of those.
Aren't you supposed to like soak the cork or something like that?
I'm sure.
Kind of like a wine bottle. You're supposed to like tip it over to give it a little bit of juice on it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, wine bottles you have to keep on their side so the cork doesn't dry out.
Yeah, I figured it's similar.
All right.
All right.
All right.
That was Barrel Wars. Thanks for watching.